Unlock emotional mastery, how to control your reactions and read people. Emotional mastery begins with awareness. Most people think they lose control because life is hard. That is not true. They lose control because they do not understand their own emotions. Emotions are not enemies. They are signals. They are messages from your mind and body. When you feel angry, something feels threatened. When you feel anxious, something feels uncertain. When you feel sad, something meaningful feels lost. But most beginners do one thing wrong. They fight their emotions. They push them away. They pretend they are not there. This creates pressure inside. Pressure always looks for a way out, and when it escapes, it becomes an overreaction. You shout, you shut down, you say words you regret, you act in ways that do not match who you want to be. Emotional mastery does not mean you feel nothing. It means you understand what you feel, and you choose how to respond. This skill is not magic, it is learnable, even for total beginners. The first step is awareness. Awareness means noticing without judging. You observe your emotions like a calm witness. Imagine standing on a riverbank. Thoughts and emotions flow like water. You do not jump in, you just watch. Most people are inside the river. They are dragged by every emotion. They believe every thought. Emotional mastery begins when you step out. You create space. That space is power. Before you can control reactions, you must slow them down. Speed is the enemy of control. Every reaction has a tiny pause before it. That pause is small, but it is enough. Inside that pause, you can choose. But beginners often miss it. Why? Because they live on autopilot. Autopilot is useful for driving. It is dangerous for emotions. When someone criticizes you, autopilot reacts with defense. When someone ignores you, autopilot reacts with hurt. When someone disagrees, autopilot reacts with anger. Autopilot is based on the past, old memories, old wounds, old habits. Emotional mastery is about the present, what is happening now, not what happened before. To build awareness, start with your body. Emotions live in the body first, before words, before logic. Anger tightens the jaw. Fear tightens the chest. Shame lowers the head. Anxiety speeds the breath. When you notice these signs, you are already winning. Do not ask, "Why am I like this?" Ask instead, "What am I feeling right now?" Name the emotion, quietly, clearly. I feel angry. I feel nervous. I feel disappointed. Naming emotions reduces their intensity. This is science, but it also feels like relief. When you name something, you separate from it. You are not anger. You are someone feeling anger. That difference changes everything. Many people believe emotions control them. That belief keeps them stuck. The truth is simpler. Unnoticed emotions control you. Noticed emotions guide you. Once you build awareness, you can move to the next level, understanding reactions. Every reaction has a trigger. Triggers are external events, words, looks, silence, tone. But the trigger is never the real cause. The cause is inside. Two people hear the same words. One laughs, one explodes. Why? Different emotional histories. Your reactions are shaped by experiences, especially early ones. If you felt ignored before, silence hurts more. If you felt judged before, criticism hurts more. This does not mean you are weak. It means you are human. Emotional mastery is not about blame, it is about responsibility. You did not choose your triggers, but you can choose how to work with them. The first tool is the pause. When you feel triggered, pause your body first. Slow your breathing. Inhale through your nose, exhale slowly through your mouth. Long exhale, short inhale. This tells your nervous system you're safe. A calm body creates a calm mind. Do not try to think clearly while emotional. That never works. Calm first, think later. This is not suppression, this is regulation. Suppression hides emotions, regulation processes them. Think of emotions like waves. If you fight them, they hit harder. If you let them pass, they lose strength. Beginners often ask, how long does this take? The answer is honest. It takes practice, but not forever. Each time you pause, you train your brain. Your brain learns a new pattern. Trigger, pause, choice. Over time, the pause grows longer. That is emotional mastery in action. Now let us talk about reading people, because understanding others starts with understanding yourself. You cannot read people clearly if your emotions are loud. Your feelings become filters. They distort perception. When you're angry, you see threats everywhere. When you're insecure, you see rejection everywhere. Emotional mastery clears the lens. To read people, you must observe, not assume. Most beginners assume intentions. He disrespects me. She hates me. They look down on me. Assumptions feel real, but they're stories. Stories are dangerous because you react to them. Reading people starts with facts. What did they say? What did they do? Not why you think they did it. Watch body language, posture, eye movement, tone of voice. Words lie easily. The body is slower. When someone crosses their arms, it may mean defense or comfort. Context matters. Never read one signal alone. Look for patterns. Is their voice tense? Is their body closed? Is their breathing shallow? People reveal emotions constantly, but most do not notice. Why? Because they are busy reacting. Calm people see more. Reactive people see less. This is why emotional mastery gives you an advantage. You listen better. You notice subtle changes. You sense shifts in energy. Reading people is not manipulation. It is understanding. Understanding creates empathy. Empathy reduces conflict. When you understand others, you stop taking things personally. Most people are not against you. They are dealing with their own fears. Their anger often hides pain. Their coldness often hides insecurity. Their control often hides fear. This does not excuse bad behavior, but it explains it. Explanation gives you options. Reaction removes them. Emotional mastery gives you choice. You choose silence instead of attack. You choose curiosity instead of judgment. You choose calm instead of chaos. This skill changes relationships, at work, at home, with yourself. But this is only the beginning. Part 2. Breaking emotional patterns and staying calm under pressure. Now you understand awareness. You know emotions are signals. You know reactions come from the past. But awareness alone is not enough. You must change patterns. A pattern is a repeated emotional response. Same trigger, same reaction, same regret. Patterns feel automatic, but they are learned. What is learned can be unlearned. Most emotional patterns were created to protect you. They helped you survive before. Now they limit you. Anger once gave you power. Silence once kept you safe. People-pleasing once avoided conflict. But the world changed. You grew. The patterns stayed.
Emotional mastery means updating them. The first step is recognizing your personal patterns. Ask yourself simple questions. When do I react the strongest? Who triggers me the fastest? What situations drain me the most? Do not judge your answers.
Observe them. Patterns appear where emotions repeat. Maybe criticism makes you defensive. Maybe silence makes you anxious. Maybe authority makes you freeze. These are not flaws, they are clues. Each pattern has a core emotion: fear, shame, anger, sadness. And each core emotion has a belief: I am not good enough. I am not safe. I am not respected. I am not important. Beliefs run reactions. If you believe you are not respected, you fight harder. If you believe you are not safe, you avoid faster. To break a pattern, you must question the belief. This is difficult for beginners because beliefs feel true. But feeling true does not mean being true. A belief is just a thought repeated many times. Thoughts can be changed. Start small. When you feel triggered, ask a new question. What am I believing right now? Do not search for the perfect answer. Just notice. You might hear, they think I am stupid. They want to control me. They do not care. Now pause. Ask another question. Is this a fact or a story? Facts are observable. Stories are interpretations. He did not reply for 2 hours. That is a fact. He does not respect me. That is a story. Stories create emotions. Facts create clarity. Emotional mastery means separating facts from stories. This alone reduces emotional intensity. Now let us talk about pressure. Pressure is emotional speed. Everything feels urgent. Everything feels personal. Under pressure, the brain goes into survival mode. In survival mode, logic goes offline. Habits take control. This is why you say things you regret. This is why you freeze. This is why you overreact. To stay calm under pressure, you must slow the system. You do not need to change the situation, you need to change your state. State means your internal condition. Your body controls your state more than your thoughts. So start with the body. Ground yourself. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your weight on the chair. Feel your breath moving in and out. This pulls your attention into the present. The present is always safer than the mind's stories. Next, lower your voice. Even if you feel emotional, speak slower, speak softer. Your nervous system listens to your voice. A calm voice sends a signal of safety. Now simplify your thinking. Under pressure, do not try to explain everything. Do not try to win. Focus on one sentence. I need a moment. Let me think. I hear you. Short sentences reduce emotional load. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. Many beginners fear silence. They think it means losing. In reality, silence gives you time. Time gives you power. Now let us talk about difficult conversations. Difficult conversations trigger emotional patterns because stakes feel high. You want to be understood. You want to be respected. You want to be right. These desires are human, but emotional mastery changes the goal. The goal is no longer winning. The goal is clarity. Clarity reduces conflict. Before you speak, check your intention. Ask yourself, do I want to connect or dominate? Connection creates solutions. Domination creates resistance. Speak from your experience, not from accusation. Say, I feel frustrated when this happens, instead of, you always do this. Feelings invite listening. Accusations invite defense. This is not manipulation. This is emotional intelligence. Listening is another key skill. Most people listen to reply, not to understand. While the other person speaks, they prepare arguments. This keeps emotions active. Instead, listen fully. Notice tone. Notice pauses. Notice what is not said. Often the real message is underneath words. Anger hides fear. Control hides insecurity. Silence hides overwhelm. When you recognize this, you stop reacting to the surface. You respond to the real emotion. This changes everything. Now, let us talk about reading people under pressure. Under stress, people reveal more. Their patterns become visible. Some talk more, some talk less. Some control, some avoid. These behaviors are not random. They are coping strategies. When you see behavior as coping, not attack, you stay calm. Calm gives you an advantage. You can choose how close to stand, how much to say, when to step back. Reading people is about timing. Not every moment is right for truth. Not every emotion needs response. Sometimes the smartest move is waiting. Emotional mastery is patience in action. Now, let us address a common mistake. Many beginners try to control emotions by force. They tell themselves, "Do not feel this. Stop being weak." This creates inner conflict. Emotions do not disappear when ignored. They go underground. Underground emotions leak. They leak as sarcasm, as passive aggression, as exhaustion. Instead of force, use acceptance. Acceptance does not mean agreement. It means acknowledgement. I see you anger. I hear you fear. When emotions feel heard, they calm down. Think of emotions like children. They cry louder when ignored. They calm when understood. This is emotional maturity. Now, let us build emotional strength. Strength is not hardness. Strength is flexibility. Rigid people break. Flexible people adapt. Emotional flexibility means you can feel without drowning. You can care without losing control. To build this, practice emotional exposure. This means staying present with mild discomfort. Do not escape immediately. Do not distract instantly. Sit with the feeling. Notice it rise. Notice it peak. Notice it fall. Every emotion has a cycle. When you ride the cycle, you learn you can survive it. This builds confidence. Confidence is not loudness. Confidence is trust in yourself. Trust that you can handle emotions. Trust that you can choose responses. Over time, triggers lose power, not because they disappear, but because you grow stronger. Now let us connect this to daily life. At work, emotional mastery helps you handle criticism. You separate feedback from identity. At home, it helps you listen without defending. You respond instead of react. With yourself, it helps you stop self-attack. You become your own ally. This inner relationship matters most because how you treat yourself shapes how you treat others. Emotional mastery is not about perfection. You will still react sometimes. The difference is awareness. You notice faster. You recover quicker. You learn deeper. Each reaction becomes a lesson, not a failure. This mindset changes everything. Part 3. Calm power, influence, and living with emotional mastery. Emotional mastery reaches its highest level when calm becomes natural, not forced, not acted, natural. At this level, you do not try to control people. People feel safe around you. Safety creates influence.
Most people believe influence comes from authority, from status, from loudness. This is a mistake. Real influence comes from emotional stability. When you stay calm, others adjust to you. Emotions are contagious. Anxious energy spreads anxiety. Calm energy spreads calm. This is not theory. This is human biology. The nervous system looks for cues. Who is safe? Who is in control? When you remain centered, others unconsciously follow. This is why some people command respect without speaking much. They do not react impulsively. They respond with intention. Let us talk about presence. Presence is full attention in the moment, not thinking about the past, not planning the next sentence. Presence is rare. That is why it is powerful. When you are present, people feel seen. Being seen is a deep human need. Most people talk to be heard. Few people listen to understand. When you truly listen, without interrupting, without correcting, you create connection. Connection builds trust. Trust builds influence. Now let us connect presence to reading people. When you are present, you notice micro signals, small changes in tone, short pauses, tension in the face. These signals tell you more than words. You sense when to speak, when to stop, when to ask a question. This is emotional intelligence in action, not memorized techniques, but felt awareness. Influence does not mean manipulation. Manipulation uses fear. Influence uses clarity. People follow clarity. When you are emotionally clear, your words carry weight. You do not over-explain. You do not justify constantly. You speak simply, calmly, directly. Simple words, clear tone, steady pace. This combination feels strong. Now let us talk about boundaries. Emotional mastery includes saying no. Many beginners struggle with this. They fear rejection. They fear conflict. So they say yes, even when it hurts. This creates resentment.
Resentment leaks out as passive aggression or emotional distance. A calm no is healthier than a resentful yes. Boundaries are not walls. They are guidelines. They tell others how to treat you. To set boundaries calmly, use clarity. Say what you can do. Say what you cannot do. No long explanations, no apologies for your needs. I am not available right now. I need more time. That does not work for me. Short, clear, respectful. When you stay calm, boundaries feel natural. People respect what you respect. Now, let us talk about emotional mastery in leadership. Leadership is not a title, it is a state. People look to the calmest person in uncertainty. When things go wrong, the calm person becomes the anchor. If you panic, others panic. If you stay grounded, others stabilize. This is why emotional mastery is a leadership skill. You do not need to be in charge to lead emotionally. You lead by example, by listening, by pausing, by choosing responses. Now, let us talk about conflict. Conflict is not failure. It is information. It shows unmet needs, unspoken fears, different values. Emotionally mature people do not avoid conflict. They manage it. They slow it down. They lower intensity. They do not attack character. They discuss behavior. This keeps dignity intact. In conflict, focus on outcomes. What do we want to improve? What do we need to change? Not who is wrong. This shifts the energy. Now, let us address self-mastery. You cannot master emotions with others if you abandon yourself. Self-talk matters. The way you speak to yourself shapes your emotional world. Many beginners are harsh inside. They criticize mistakes. They replay failures. This keeps emotions activated. Replace judgment with curiosity. Instead of, "Why am I like this?" say, "What can I learn here?" Learning calms the mind. Mistakes become feedback, not identity. This builds self-trust. Self-trust is the foundation of calm. When you trust yourself, you are not afraid of emotions. You know you can handle them.
Now let us talk about consistency. Emotional mastery is not one moment. It is a daily practice. Small habits matter. Pause before reacting. Name emotions. Breathe slowly. These small acts compound. Over weeks, your baseline changes. You feel less reactive, more stable, more clear. Others notice. They say, "You seem calm. You seem confident." Confidence is a side effect, not the goal. Now let us talk about meaning. Why master emotions? Not to control others, not to appear strong, but to live freely. Reactive people live in reaction. They are pulled by external events. Emotionally mature people live in choice. Choice is freedom. Freedom to respond wisely. Freedom to protect energy. Freedom to connect deeply. This changes life quality. Relationships improve. Work becomes smoother. Inner peace grows. Peace is not passive. It is powerful. Now imagine this future. Someone criticizes you. You pause. You listen. You respond calmly. Someone tries to provoke you. You stay centered. They lose interest. Someone opens up emotionally. You listen without fixing. Trust deepens. This is emotional mastery in action. It is not dramatic. It is steady. Steady is powerful. Now let us bring everything together. Awareness starts the journey. Pattern breaking builds strength. Calm presence creates influence. Each level builds on the previous. You do not rush this process. You practice. Some days are easier. Some days are harder. That is normal. Progress is not linear, but it is real. Every pause is a victory. Every conscious response is growth. Over time, you become someone others feel safe around. You become someone you trust. This is the real transformation. Not becoming someone else, but becoming fully yourself. Calm, clear, grounded. This is emotional mastery, and it is available to you even as a beginner, especially as a beginner, because the journey starts now with one pause, one breath, one conscious choice. To support this channel, please subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment. Your engagement allows us to keep producing high-quality shadowing lessons for you.